Hi, thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen, and you're watching No More Water, Fire Next Time. Please, if you can join me tonight, you can see I'm riding solo tonight. I'm in my solo studio. Normally, I'm in the larger studio when I have guests. I had guests scheduled, but my guests couldn't make it, and I figure I have to get this show on the road. I can't keep waiting on everyone else. I have to get this show on the road. I have a topic tonight. There are many people talking about protest. Why many black people are not joining in the protest. Well, many choose not to. And sort of see the history of why many chose not to. But I can respect those who choose not to and those who also choose to do so. It's a personal decision. But I noticed a decline in black protest after Michael Brown. It didn't just start. See, when Michael Brown was killed, black people did protests like I had never seen in my lifetime. I can't say about previous times. In my lifetime, they didn't protest for the normal 3 days. They protested for months. They were out in the streets of Ferguson for months. But then, and a matter of fact, they brought out dogs, armored vehicles, policemen in battle fatigues with assault rifles, but those people were not deterred one bit. They were not afraid. But then what happened was, after the verdict, it sort of broke the people's spirit. But then I noticed during George Floyd, did you notice that during George Floyd protests, there were more white people out there than black? There was. That's why there was an initiative and change came because there was more black people, white people out there than black. A matter of fact, it wasn't black people who went up in that police station in Minneapolis and ransacked it, because there would have been black bodies littered out over steps. You know that. And then after that, they had a one in here where George Stockley, I believe, the policeman killed a black man. Supposed they planted a gun on him, and then there was a they I remember I was downtown, so I never participated in protests. I always recorded them, live streaming or filmed them. But I never participated in protests because they don't protest my way. Because, to be honest, I don't believe in peaceful protests. I don't even think the two words belong in the same sentence. Because I'm not going to respond to violence with peace. Let me get my lick in, then we can start talking some peace. But look, getting back to the topic. I noticed I was recording one day up in over in St. Louis. It was, and there was about 1,000 people there. It was downtown, in front of the court building, and the people on stage were all black. But when I turned around and looked at the audience, so I said it was about I estimated at about 1,000 people. I couldn't find a black person. I couldn't find one. There was every race there but black people. And many said, well, black people need to get back. I can tell someone else what they need to do. That's a decision people have to make for themselves. Sometimes you get tired. We're human. We get tired also. And then that was in St. Louis when you rolled down the street. You drive through the black neighborhood, you saw a few Black Lives Matter signs sprinkled here and there. But when you got in the white areas, that was one in just about every yard. That's what brought about the woke initiative. You know, white people never talk about being woke before. What happened? Many white people's eyes was open, and they saw how black people were being treated, and they just about took up the mantle for us. So what happened was they even during the January 6th, many of those people who breached the Capitol was turned in by their own family and their children. One girl put up a picture of her mother all bloodied and said, and she told me don't go to a Black Lives Matters rally because it may get violent. And put up a picture of her mother all bloody during the January 6th insurrection, trying to overthrow the government. But when it comes to protests, we can't tell someone else what to do because many people have gotten tired. And many black people just see that right now that what they're protesting over, like for immigrants, when the Haitians were being deported, we didn't see other people protesting for them. They were deporting Haitians when they weren't deporting Mexicans and other Latinos. Back when Bill Clinton was running, one stipulation Jesse Jackson had that he would support Bill Clinton is that if he would let the Haitians come in and stop deporting so many Haitians without due process. So they've been deporting Haitians for a long time. I haven't heard everyone, the Latinos, joining in on that. When Trump said the Haitians was eating dogs and all, I didn't hear others. I heard black people speaking against it, but I didn't hear the other Latinos speaking against it. So we're tired of covering for everyone else and no one covers for us. Now, excuse me. That's what many have said, and I can't blame them for that. Because, see, I lived in Los Angeles for quite a while, and I was around people of color. They don't like us. You have to quit thinking that. They do not like us. Many times, they treat us worse than the white races do. They just like to come and make money off of us. But these people of color, they don't like us. That's why people of color better get out there and protest for people of color. As far as I'm concerned, now black people want to get out, another black person want to get out there with them, that's their decision. I'm protesting for black people. They say, well, that all this stuff gonna fall on black people. It already has. That's what DEI mean, the N word, y'all know it. Because most of the things they're cutting on DEI is to try to go after black people, but a lot of white people is getting caught in the crossfire. Because DEI, they're saying that DEI is mostly for, I know DEI is a different subject, but it's not sure I touch on whenever I want to. So, but DEI is mostly, they're saying that anyone who's not a white male is being hired, is an inferior hire. But let's look at that. Okay, there was a white friend of mine, and during George Floyd, he mentioned that they said this scumbag named Bob Romantic. They mentioned that he had said they talked about hiring more white policemen, and they mentioned that he had said, but are they qualified? But what you have to realize, I asked him, well, how are policemen hired? Don't they go through the police academy? He said, yes. So, or hired from another department after they have been to police academy? He said, yes. So I asked him, well, how are the black policemen hired? Don't they go through the academy or hired through another police department after they've been through the academy? He said, yeah. He said, yes. So I asked him, well, why come the black policeman wouldn't be qualified and the white one will? And he stopped and he looked for us. I said, it's because you think the black one is inferior? They may not be racist, but they're racial. They'll give you the job, but they'll treat you different. But see, he was befuddled. He didn't want to say it, but he knew what the correct answer was. So some people rather not answer at all because if they know the correct answer is going to indict them. So many times, but then when I went further, I told him, I said, look at the policeman who has killed people, saying I thought they had a gun, killed children, I thought they had a gun. People who have, policemen who have beat people, shot people in handcuffs. Those weren't black policemen. Those were white males. So, who would you say was unqualified? Black males couldn't get away with that. So evidently, the white males were more unqualified. Now don't get me, I'm just not ragging on white people. But I'm just telling the truth. And if you can't take that, it's too bad. But the thing is, when it comes to protests, let's go further. Remember doing Trayvon marching? Okay, here's a white man, see a black kid walking down the street. He goes and pick a fight with the black kid. The black kid start winning the fight. So he shoot the black kid because the black kid is whooping his butt. So the verdict comes out that he was standing his ground. Now, how are you standing your ground against someone who you picked a fight with? If that's the case, you can see someone you want to murder, you want to kill. Go pick a fight with them. Shoot them, kill them, say, well, I was standing my ground. If you want to use that logic, that's what it amounts to. So, black people are tired of marching with no results. We're tired of it. And if we didn't get any results for ourselves, why should we go out there and try to get results for someone else? They say all of this stuff go, but see, they're marching for stuff that's going to come back at you. Well, we're dealing with it when it comes to us. It's already with us. See, because many of the stuff, things they're going through, we already been through it and been going through it all the time. So it's nothing new to us. It's new to you. If you don't help us, we're not helping you. Some will, but the majority are not, and I can't fault them for not. I'm on the ones who won't, but I can't fault those who will. But then again, like I said, I don't protest anyway because they're too peaceful for me. And see, Trump they already said in the 2025, Project 2025, they want black people to get out in the streets. So they talk about bringing in the military, not the National Guards, but the military. They want a reason to start deporting black people. He said homegrown. He's not talking homegrown white people. Some may get caught in the trap. But he's talking about homegrown black people. And see, we have to start looking out for ourselves and stop taking a back seat to everyone else. We have to look out for ourselves. I'm going to take a break and I will be right back.
What's good, everybody? My name is Brandon Hunter, also known as OG Brando, and I am the founding formulator for the Origin of Greatness. In front of me, I have my products, the OG Hair Sheen, which is all-around great moisturizer, and then I have my hemp seed butter, which is all-around great moisturizer for the skin as well. If you have any questions about either of my products, please, you can find me at the Origin of Greatness on Instagram, the OG LLC on Facebook, and at our website at theog.net. And also be on the lookout for the OG in collab in connection with Tierra Speaks. You might just catch us, with some. We got a little collab going on. She got her thing with her self-care box, and so we got some things coming. But greatness is definitely on the way. Onward and upward.
Okay, thank you for staying with me. Now, as I was saying, we're tired of getting out, dealing with, we get out and we protest, and everyone else gain more from it than we do. All the rights that other people are having, other races, the people of color and all are having, they get that off of our backs, off of our protests. What have we gotten from them? Some, what have we gotten from them? Nothing but hatred. That's what they show to us, hatred. If and just listen to them in Spanish. I know a little Spanish. Some of the stuff they say, I know what they say. They can't stand us, but we supposed to go out there and march for them. I don't. You march doing George Floyd's with many of you, but it's a game to you. It's no game for us. I mean, it's a matter of survival for us. When we saw they just all this marching, which I do anyway. I didn't protest anyway. I wasn't getting out there. Something I knew wasn't gonna work. That's that. See, that's we have to change our strategy. Black people have to stop, regroup, and think and change our strategy because that's a 20th century philosophy. Getting out there, going to jail, getting your butt whipped just for some crumbs. I'm not doing it. Anyone else want to do it, that's up to them. I'm not doing it. See, back then, the black church was very representative in what we were doing, and they really, and especially the Black Baptist Church, they helped out a lot. But it's not really the church's job. They do it if they want to. See, the black church has taken on a role of forming protest, boycott. It's really not the church's job. They just choose to do it. And the first thing we do is worse the churches. They can come if they want to. It's not their job to really get out here and take care of this stuff. They choose to do it. But now we have to think of a strategy that's not going to be getting our people hurt and killed, but yet get results because those protests are not getting anything but a lot of attention. And that's all. I remember when, I'm going to show you another protest, how protests don't work. I remember when we were at down at the MCC college, when they was talking about disbanding it. About 30 buses, Greyhound buses, left East St. Louis, went up to Springfield. It was a good show, a good protest, a nice show. Filled the Capitol Rotunda. They still disbanded the schools. They still disbanded MCC school, the college, from the community college board disbanded the college. No, it wasn't at the Rotunda. It was at the community college board in Springfield. They still disbanded it, and you wasted all your money on those buses. We need a new strategy. This protest stuff is not working. It hasn't worked since the 60s. And people are not willing to sacrifice themselves like they used to. I never would have. No, nobody gonna beat me and I'm talking about I love you. No, it don't work like that for me. You beat me, I'm gonna try to beat you first. And what happened after that just happened. But those who want to protest peacefully, I go ahead and do it. I can't fault you for it. At least you're doing something. But then, but we also need someone at the table. Because I know I appreciate people like Jasmine Crockett or Bernie Sanders, what's her name, OAC, and all of those who are out front. We need them. Because Jasmine Crockett, she explained it perfectly. When people tried to speak against Hakeem Jeffries, said he's too soft, don't talk strong enough. She said we're like a team, he's the quarterback. And some of them are like the running back and wide receivers. They don't have the same job. She said Hakeem Jeffries keeps everything together. They're filing lawsuits. But sometimes We think this: if you're not keeping up a lot of noise, you're not doing anything. You, we want you to keep up a lot of noise and be up in people's faces and telling them where to go and what to do. If not, you're not doing anything. But see, we need those people to keep up some noise. Just as during the civil rights movement, there were people out there protesting, but you had those who had to go and sit at the table and negotiate. Excuse me. King just didn't protest; he also negotiated and was a good negotiator. So we have to really the black intellectuals. See, one thing we don't do, we don't get the black intellectuals together to try to do things. We try to get those who are out in the streets doing things, and many of them don't have the intelligence to do it. And one thing we have to do is stop separating black men and black women. We are black people. We're not gonna make it just talking about anytime we talk when a black man talk, he talks about black people. The black women just want to talk about black women. Now if you want to go it alone, go ahead, but don't come crying to us. We'll let you if you want to go it alone. Because one black woman said, they were saying, why is Al Sharpton negotiating with the CEOs? Well, Al Sharpton and Reverend, I think it's Jamal Bryant, they started the Target broadcast. No, I'm sorry, the Target boycott. And then when the Target CEOs came and they talked to Al Sharpton, and I knew what she was getting around to, and she finally said it. Said, she said, when I'm at Target and I'm in the aisles, candle aisles, smelling candles, I don't see any men up in there. They need a woman to negotiate. What woman? And what man you think you're going to see in the candle aisles sniffing candles? What type of man you don't see doing that? And you have to get, who do they know? See, many things now are thought on social media and don't have a clear leader. The clear leader they know of is Al Sharpton. He helped to get the boycott started. Him and Jim, especially Reverend Jamal Bryant. So why should they forego them and go find some leader because she's out in Target sniffing candles? Find a woman just because she's in Target sniffing candles. That make her qualified to negotiate? But we have to start dealing as a people because we can't do it black men do their thing and black women do their thing because that turned a lot of people off from the election. But we fragmented it between black men and black women there. And when it came out, black people still voted for Kamala Harris, 90%. That's in the normal range for black people. Because 10% of black women voted for Trump. And when you treat an election like she's running for the president of a black sorority, like black girl magic, you turn a lot of people off when you do that. Other folks not going for that. Black men used to hearing you talk like that, but other people are not going for it. And they need to start back getting elections on the precinct level. That's how you get the vote out. Then we won't have to get out and do all these protests. Because this protesting thing has gotten tired. They're boasting on the numbers, on how many people out there protesting, and it's not phasing Trump one bit. He said, matter of fact, he said F him. He's looking for a reason to be able to get call martial law. He's looking for a reason, especially if black people get out there. So we're gonna have to watch it. We're gonna have to really think this through. Get our intellectuals, the people who are used to and know how to strategize, and not just those who can keep up a lot of noise. We need those who can keep up some noise. But because you keep up some noise, don't mean you're qualified to go in and to negotiate. I can't say I can go in and negotiate for something that just because I don't like it. And that's one thing we never see people going to our black intellectuals, those who know how to do these things, and have them to do things, have them strategize for us, think things out. We think because a person start a group and they keep up a lot of noise, they can go in and do it. No, let them keep up their noise, and let's get the people who are able to go in and negotiate, to do the negotiating for us. We never call on our intellectuals when we want to talk over issues. We want to talk over black issues. We just go get anybody. Oprah, when she wanted to talk black issues, when got Chris Rock, a comedian. We want to talk black economics. Do we go and get the black economists or black CEOs or the black businessmen, head of companies? No, we don't go and get them. We have to start getting qualified black people to do stuff for us, not just to be qualified for them. We need people who are qualified to do things for us. Because you never hear qualification when it comes to people doing things for black people, only when it comes to doing things for them. We need qualified people to do things for us, who can negotiate development for us, who can negotiate how we're going to respond to this DEI and Trump. We need some qualified people to plot a strategy for us, not just anyone because they can keep up a lot of noise. Even the people who, even the Congress people who are keeping up noise are saying that they back Hakeem Jeffries. He's able and he's qualified and he is doing the job. He just doesn't keep up a lot of noise. He could put a little more oomph into his personality when he speaks, because he, listening to him, he will just about put you to sleep. But that doesn't mean he doesn't know his job, because he's just not extravagant with it, because he's not exciting. That's just not his personality. That's not my personality. But that doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, he doesn't have to be so exciting to you to know what he's doing. So when he speak from a position of authority and know-how. And usually when you're speaking from a position of authority and know-how, you don't have to keep up a lot of noise, because you know what you're doing and you know what you're plotting and you know what you're going to do, and you just about know the outcome when you know what you're doing, when you know what you're doing. If you just keep, most of the time, the people keeping up a lot of noise, that's all they know how to do. Now, I'm not saying about Jasmine Crockett and Bernie Sanders and all them, because they're very qualified. And if you notice, the things they say are factual, not just a lot of noise. They're just more extravagant with it, and Jeffrey's not. So we have to quit looking to just what excites us, because we got time on our hands, and we're gonna have to find a way to deal with it, and find a way soon. And as I say, we need some people in our communities for defense, because these people now talking about coming into black neighborhoods doing things to people. And I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna get some people killed, unalived. I better say that, unalived, because if they ride around here in an unmarked van with hoods on, grabbing people off the streets, somebody gonna get laid down. I know an unmarked van come after me, so you all better get your CCWs and be ready. Be ready. Unless you just want people to come in and just walk all over you, pull your people up in a van unmarked, take them to another country, like they're the Gestapo or something. Now, and protest is not going to stop that. Protest is not going to do, so get ready for it. You're going to fight back against it now, and there may not be not no protest form. Come time you have to get physical. We may have to get physical. I'm just, they probably kick me off for something saying it, but sometimes it might get, well, it's too many of them there went. Look, there have been people fighting all over the world who were overmatched by great powers, and they won. But we don't mind wasting our lives in the streets, laying down on the pavement bleeding over an petty argument. You don't mind losing your life for that. And I'm just telling you, I'm not saying go out here and start something. We've never done that, except only with each other. But all I say is, don't just stand here and let people physically harm you. You see what they did in Cleveland. They didn't protest when those Nazis and those Klan, first the Nazis came. They ran them out of there, even though the police tried to protect them. Now, why would you give someone a permit, the Klan, to march in a black neighborhood when they are a black terrorist group? They said fight terrorism. That's what those people did. They fought terrorism, got them out of there. Okay, the Klan tried to come into Cleveland. They now have their own armed force escorting children to school, getting back to the Black Panthers days. You can't always trust your enemy to protect you. See, we're still looking at things like we're going to be protected by the courts. The courts have been pretty good in protecting black rights. These people are not listening to the courts. The courts can put out an order, and they don't listen to it. Nothing the courts can do about it. They tell the courts to where they can go and what they can kiss. See, if you cannot forcibly enforce a law, then it's not a law. It's just a request. You're just requesting that they do it. If they don't have to obey you, because the Constitution, the United States has checks and balance for stopping an autocrat. It has checks and balances in place for stopping, not for stopping, but for preventing what Trump is doing. But he fell through the cracks. But the United States and the Constitution does not have anything to stop it. Once it started, it's like this man is destroying this nation, and everybody just sitting back with looking and say, well, like, what can we do? See, in other countries, the military would deal with him. You see, over in Africa, the guy, I can't remember his name, but he's reforming that country. They was giving away all the country's wealth to Europe, gold, diamonds. Excuse me. One of those generals reformed the coup, and he's the leader now. They're refining their own gold, and those doing their own manufacturing. Sometimes that's what it takes. But the people who are so brainwashed, they're afraid. We think the government is going to always come and save us. But now it's the government who's doing things against us. Even black people now, we think, oh, the courts, and they're not going to do this, not going to do it. We're in a new day. We don't have a constitution. We got it, but it's a piece of rag right now. And you better get ready for what's coming. And it's not going to all be peaceful. And if you think I'm joking, you're going to find out. They got some things ready for you. And then let me tell you, this thing with the transporting people out, they're not going to stop with the immigrants. Because see, one thing about the immigrants, like I said about protests, and one reason I don't, is that, at one time, the Latinos were treated like honorary whites. And I can tell you when it changed. Remember, at the time when Emmett Till, a black man, was getting lynched for dating or whistling at a white woman, you had Lucy and Ricky Ricardo, white women making songs about their Latin lover. These people was being led in this country, no one cared. Because when they came in, they voted Republican, and they did not vote for black candidates. They showed hatred toward black people just as others did. What happened? 2007, a man by the name of Barack Obama had the audacity to become a candidate for president of the United States. He won the primaries. Then they start talking about we have to stop the browning of the United States. But what happened with the Latinos? They fooled them. They voted for Obama. They voted Democratic and voted for Obama. After that, they've been coming after them. That's why they're coming after you. You sided, they feel like you sided with black people in this country. It's getting too dark. We have to do something about it. That's why they're talking about important white South African farmers here. Talking about they're being treated badly. Here's how badly they're being treated. They want to bring in whites and kick out the other colors. Here's how bad the white South African farmers are being treated. Whites make up 1/5 of the population in South Africa. Yet they have 3/4 of the farmland. 3 out of every 4 farms in South Africa belong to 1/5 of the population. That's just how bad they're being treated in South Africa. How bad the white farmers are being treated. They just want to bring more white people here to stop the browning of the United States. There have been and see if you notice out in California, black people, a black person can't win a statewide office out there because the Latinos won't vote for them. When Tom Bradley, the mayor of Los Angeles, he was the far superior candidate over George Jamaican, some guy they couldn't even pronounce his name. But yet, excuse me, the Latinos wouldn't vote for Tom Bradley. So he could win the citywide office, but he couldn't win the state office. So we got some difficult times coming ahead, and and we're gonna have to look out for ourselves. Those who want to help others, they can do so. I can't fault you for if that's what you want to do. But I choose not to. I'm getting ready for what's coming at us, and it's coming after us. It's coming for us. I'm going to take a break right here, and I'll be right back.
What's good, everybody? My name is Brandon Hunter, also known as OG Brando, and I am the founding formulator for the Origin of Greatness. In front of me, I have my products, the OG Hair Sheen, which is all-around great moisturizer, and then I have my hemp seed butter, which is all-around great moisturizer for the skin as well. If you have any questions about either of my products, please, you can find me at the Origin of Greatness on Instagram, the OG LLC on Facebook, and at our website at theog.net. And also be on the lookout for the OG in collab and connection with Tierra Speaks. You might just catch us, with some, we got a little collab going on. She got her thing with her self-care box, and so we got some things coming. But greatness is definitely on the way, onward and upward.
Okay, I'm back. Look, I have my Cash App up. Look, I want to continue bringing you programs and on a regular basis, maybe 3 times a week or so. It may every day if I can get the support. I can't see one thing I haven't gotten is support because I used to do the high school games and people complain when I didn't stream it or if something didn't go exactly like they think it should, but none of them were supporting. And if you're not supporting me, I don't care what you say. If you're not supporting me, so hit my Cash App if you can, because I plan to bring some guests on, and all of them are not in town because I just don't do a local broadcast. I do it for worldwide audiences. I will include some local broadcasts in, of course, because I live here, but most of my local, well, most of my broadcast is not just for a local audience. I may talk on some city things sometime, have some city leaders on. I plan to have some on this week, even some state leaders. I plan to have some on this week if I can get some support because it takes money to do things. And you can send money to these other people out of town and all. You can do it for, why not support your own? Basically, seem to love to support everyone but our own, and we have to cut that out. Our people got to eat too. Yeah, we got to eat too. We can't do everything for free. I know I can't, and I just haven't really received the support that I should for the things that I was doing. That's the reason I stopped doing the games. I just couldn't get the support. I've had games that had 20,000 people watching and barely made any money. I couldn't keep doing that. Go all out of town, out of state, and couldn't get the support. So I have to start doing things that I can get support with. And that's the reason I stopped broadcasting on the cable channel. People don't really watch cable anymore, and it was just a money drain. And I was running it out of my pocket, so I can't keep doing that. And I want to keep this going, but I'm going to have to get some support. So hit my Cash App if you can, and this money goes to so I can bring better quality and bring in other people. Sometimes I may have to have some people come in because I plan on not just getting local people, but people who are out of town, and I have to at least have some gas money for them or something. And but so please support the broadcast and be sure to reflect on the things that I said because we don't want our people to be caught napping and people come after us physically and we still thinking the government gonna come save us or the courts are gonna do something about it because let's face it, that's not going to happen. It's getting us to the place where we're gonna have to save ourselves like they did in Cleveland. They got ready. You had black men and women, black people, not separated. Had concealed carry, had their guns on, taking the kids to school, say, yeah, you come this way if you want to. They never came back. We have to do that sometimes. I remember how there was this group, they would come and get their assault rifles and go in front of different mosques to intimidate the Muslims. One day they decided down in Houston that they were going to do this to a Nation of Islam mosque. They didn't know who they was messing with. When they got there, they got get out of their cars with their assault rifle, lining the streets. Was the Fruit of Islam and the new Black Panther Party with their assault rifles, lining the streets like soldiers. Those people jumped in their car and took off. It comes to that sometimes. We did the peace. Now they dismantled everything that the peaceful protest got us. the voting rights, civil rights bill, the Bill of Rights. They what Trump did that with executive order. It can you do need congressional approval, but we don't have a Congress anymore. Let's face it. We don't have a Supreme. We have it, but they're powerless. Supreme Court, powerless. Excuse me. And we can't depend on the systems that we used to could depend on. We may have to go it alone and do it ourselves if necessary. And we're going to have to defend ourselves physically if necessary. And you got to be up to the task. You're going to have to be up to it. And we won't be alone. It's going to be some others because this stuff is hurting them too. See, this DEI is hurting white people more than it is black people because the DEI was mostly benefiting white women more than anyone. And even affirmative action. Affirmative action was benefiting really white males more than anyone. But it was benefiting white people, women. They were getting most of it. Black people barely got crumbs from DEI or affirmative action. Because when you look at affirmative action was a 17% set aside. But in that 17% is black people, people of color, and white women. Well, that's 17%. Well, everyone's looking at that 17%, right? So if everyone else is putting that 17%, that makes the white male the minority. Who gets the 83%? He's running away with 83%, while everyone else is looking at that 17%, and black people barely got anything out of that. Because white women was getting, and people of color was getting most of it. And what happens is they put a black face on it to demonize it. Same with DEI. You see, statistics has shown that when a company is ran by a CEO who's a white woman, or let's say a woman, or a black person, that company is usually more profitable because white women and black people, it was mostly white women, let's just say true. White women and black people, they have to be qualified for what they do when it comes to those type of positions. They have to be qualified. They're just not given things. The mediocre white men can be put in great places. Just look at our president. Or look at the occupant of the Oval Office. Look at him. He's mediocre, but look at where he's at. The Secretary of Defense. The whole group is mediocre, but look at where they're at. Okay. When I can remember years ago, I would hear people say that when they were on their job, they it was the most company that mostly had black people work there, but white bosses. They would bring a white man in excuse me, and they would ask the black people to train them to do the job. You know what the black people would say? Well, let's train our new boss. And you know what would happen? After the black people trained them, that was their new supervisor. Now you see why they had to have DEI and affirmative action, which really neither one really did that much for black people. Why come they couldn't hire one of those black people who trained him to be the supervisor? Mediocre white males get put in positions where other people, women and black people, and I'm not talking about black man and black woman, so when I say black people, I'm talking about black men and black women. When they're in positions, they have to be overly qualified. Because see, when I see a woman or a black person running something, I know they had to be qualified to do it. But when you see a white man running it, it doesn't mean he had to be qualified. All he had to do was be a white male. I worked on jobs where for one it was white, and there's not just black people because there was a white woman working there, and the white man was so mad because she was working, and the black man was happy to see a woman working there. Black men are used to working with women. As a matter of fact, actually like it. But the white guys complain about it. But see what happens is women and black people has to be overly qualified for what we do. And still may make less money. A lot of the black women, they see a lot of black women going to college. Yes, it's not that they're more educated because you don't get educated in college. You get trained. And when you get out of high school, your education is over. You're getting trained then. But, looking at the jobs that men do and women do, women have to go to college because a man can go get a job at a factory, warehouse, fireman, and make what the women make, what they have to go to college to. Women have to go to college to make that kind of salary and still make less. Because all these women are being not doctors and lawyers and dentists who are going to college. They're going for nursing and different things. And they don't make that kind of money. They make what a man make, on a regular job. A lot of men elect to go to trade school. So let's not let all this education divide us either. Because once you get out of high school, your education is over, ladies. You're being trained in college. That's what you're doing, being trained. Just like if a man go to trade school, he's being trained. He's not being educated. When you're getting trained, you say, well, I'm getting educated for the job. But they're saying that people more educated. No, you're getting trained for the job. I just like saying I'm getting educated to be a fireman. No, you're getting trained to be a fireman. You're getting trained to be a lawyer. You're getting trained to be a doctor. You've been trained to be a nurse. You've been trained for whatever your psychology degree. You're trained. So let's not let education divide us and for one to think that they're better than the other. Because when this fight comes, it's going to take all of us. And no need to talk about where the black men at when you told them to get lost. Because ladies, we going to have to do this together. And you're not going to be able to do it by yourself. We're going to have to do this together, and we're going to have some help. But even if we don't, we can always expect the government to come and save us. Because in this protesting, I just don't see it working. It's keeping up a lot of noise. It's keeping people on the streets. It's impressive. Excuse me. It's impressive, but that's all it is. Impressive. But it's not getting the job done. Having 1 million people out all around the world, it's impressive. But what has it changed? It really hasn't changed anything. And protesting is not going to change. But get me wrong. Those who want to do it, fine. That's good if that's what you want to do. But those who don't, that's fine also. But all I can say is let's get ready to defend ourselves if necessary. And I think it's going to be necessary. So let's quit fighting each other and look at the real enemy. Well, I'm going to wrap this up, but I hope y'all give me a little grace. This was my first time doing a show by myself. I'm used to having guests and talking to them and let them talk and question them because I have to sit and I don't keep notes. I will sometime go to my iPad, but I like to bring it to you straight from my thoughts. And my thoughts are grounded in facts or from history that I've seen. I'm not going to come with no speculation. Going by facts, if the courts is not going to save us like it used to, and people think have gotten emboldened, saying they could come around us and say and do whatever they want to, we're going to have to save ourselves by any means necessary. And this time, that may just not be a slogan. We may have to actually practice that. So I'm going to say good night. So I'm going to be with you. I think it's going to be tomorrow night. I'm going to have Lorenzo Savage with me from IME St. Louis Magazine around 7 o'clock. So tune in and good night.